Story 1. The Haunting of the Old Farmhouse. In a quiet countryside town, nestled amidst rolling hills and sprawling fields, there stood an old farmhouse with a dark past. Locals whispered of strange occurrences that had plagued the farmhouse for decades, from unexplained noises in the dead of night to sightings of shadowy figures lurking in the shadows. One family, the Johnsons, had recently moved into the farmhouse, unaware of its haunted reputation. At first, they dismissed the rumors as nothing more than superstition, eager to embrace their new life in the countryside. But as the days turned into weeks, the Johnsons began to experience firsthand the eerie phenomena that had plagued the farmhouse for generations. Objects would move on their own accord, footsteps echoed through the empty halls, and strange apparitions appeared in the dead of night. Terrified and desperate for answers, the Johnsons reached out to paranormal investigators to help uncover the truth behind the farmhouse's haunting. Armed with cameras and recording devices, the investigators spent countless nights documenting the strange occurrences that unfolded within the farmhouse's walls. Their findings were chilling. EVP recordings captured disembodied voices whispering in the darkness, while infrared cameras captured shadowy figures moving through the empty rooms. The investigators even reported feeling a malevolent presence lurking in the shadows, its presence palpable in the air. As the investigation continued, the Johnsons became increasingly convinced that they were not alone in the farmhouse. They began to experience terrifying nightmares and feelings of dread that permeated their every waking moment. In a last-ditch effort to rid their home of the malevolent entity, the Johnsons sought the help of a local priest to perform an exorcism. With prayers and holy water, the priest conducted the ritual, banishing the dark presence from the farmhouse once and for all. In the days that followed, the Johnsons felt a sense of peace settle over the farmhouse, the once haunted halls now filled with warmth and light. Though the memories of their ordeal would haunt them forever, they were grateful to finally leave the nightmare behind and embrace the promise of a new beginning. Story 2. The Curse of the Abandoned Hospital. In the heart of a bustling city, there stood an abandoned hospital that had long been shrouded in mystery and intrigue. Once a beacon of hope and healing, it now stood as a decrepit shell of its former self, its halls empty and its windows shattered. Local legends spoke of a curse that had befallen the hospital, stemming from a tragic event that had occurred decades ago. According to the stories, a patient had died under mysterious circumstances, their restless spirit lingering within the hospital's walls, seeking vengeance on those who dared to trespass upon its domain. One group of urban explorers, drawn by the allure of the hospital's haunted reputation, ventured into its abandoned halls one fateful night. Armed with flashlights and cameras, they braved the darkness in search of thrills and adventure. But as they delved deeper into the hospital's depths, they soon realized that they were not alone. Strange noises echoed through the empty corridors, and chilling whispers filled the air, sending shivers down their spines. Undeterred by the eerie atmosphere, the explorers pressed on, determined to uncover the truth behind the hospital's curse. But with each passing moment, the malevolent presence grew stronger, its grip tightening around them like a vice. Suddenly, one of the explorers let out a blood-curdling scream as they felt a cold hand grasp their shoulder. Panic ensued as they scrambled to find an exit, but the hospital seemed to twist and shift around them, trapping them in its cursed embrace. Desperate and fearing for their lives, the explorers called out for help, but their cries fell on deaf ears. It was only when dawn broke and the first light of morning pierced the darkness that they were finally able to escape the hospital's clutches. But the horrors they had witnessed would haunt them forever, their minds scarred by the memories of the cursed hospital and the malevolent spirit that lurked within its walls. Though they had escaped with their lives, They knew that the curse of the abandoned hospital would continue to claim victims for years to come. Story 3. The Malevolent Dollin. A quaint suburban neighborhood, there lived a young girl named Emily who had always been fascinated by dolls. Her collection grew over the years, each doll more beautiful and intricate than the last. But there was one doll in particular that caught Emily's eye. An antique porcelain doll with piercing blue eyes and a hauntingly lifelike expression. She had found it tucked away in the attic of her family's new home, hidden beneath a layer of dust and cobwebs. From the moment Emily laid eyes on the doll, she felt an inexplicable connection to it. She named it Charlotte and placed it on her bedside table, where it watched over her as she slept. But as the days passed, strange things began to happen. Emily would wake up in the middle of the night to find Charlotte's eyes following her around the room, or hear soft laughter emanating from its painted lips. Terrified and convinced that Charlotte was possessed by a malevolent spirit, Emily reached out to her parents for help. But they dismissed her fears as childish imagination, attributing the strange occurrences to overactive imagination. Determined to prove that Charlotte was indeed haunted, Emily set up cameras in her room to capture evidence of the doll's malevolent behavior. What she discovered was chilling. Footage showed Charlotte moving on its own accord, its porcelain limbs twisting and contorting in unnatural ways. Fearing for her safety, Emily decided to confront the spirit that inhabited Charlotte's doll. Armed with a crucifix and a vial of holy water, she conducted a makeshift exorcism in her bedroom, calling upon the spirit to leave the doll and depart from her home. To her relief, the strange occurrences ceased, and Emily was finally able to sleep peacefully once more. But the memory of Charlotte's malevolent presence would linger in her mind forever, a reminder of the dangers that lurked within the seemingly innocent world of childhood toys.